Hello, English learners, and welcome. I'm your host, Paul. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Excited to chat about English learning today.
Today we're tackling something, well, it's kind of fundamental, but we often overthink it. We're going to ditch the textbooks, forget the grammar drills, and just dive headfirst into, well, how to learn English without feeling like you're stuck in a classroom.
Yeah, it's funny how we've all come to accept this image of mountains of textbooks and endless grammar exercises as the only way to learn a new language.
Right, like you got to suffer through it all.
Exactly. But we're here to bust that myth wide open, to show you that learning English can actually be fun, it can be practical, and it can be something that you weave into your everyday life.
No more boring lectures or feeling lost in a sea of verb conjugations.
Exactly. We're going to explore how real conversations, movies, TV shows, podcasts, social media, even your daily routines, they can all become your English teachers.
Yeah, think of it like turning your whole world into an English classroom without the stuffy atmosphere and the pop quizzes, of course.
Exactly. So if you're ready to learn English, not just study it, well, stick with us. We're about to unpack a whole bunch of surprisingly effective and, dare I say, fun ways to actually start feeling comfortable using English every single day.
Yeah, and speaking of feeling comfortable, let's start with something pretty basic. Actually
Yeah.
talking to people.
Yeah.
Why is having real conversations so crucial when it comes to learning English? I mean, it seems obvious, but
It really is all about immersion. Think about how you learned your first language. You didn't crack open a grammar book at, 2 years old?
right, you just start babbling, mimicking what you hear around you.
Exactly. And that's kind of the essence of what we're talking about here. It's about recreating that natural learning environment, but for English.
So it's like learning by actually jumping in and trying to communicate.
Yeah. Absolutely. And when you engage in real conversations, you're not just passively absorbing information. You're actively participating.
Yeah.
You're formulating your own thoughts in English. You're responding in real time. You're adapting to different speaking styles and accents. It's like a workout for your language skills.
Yeah, it's like instead of just reading about swimming, you're actually, jumping in the pool and figuring out how to stay afloat.
Precisely. And in that process, you get immediate feedback. Maybe it's a nod of understanding. Maybe it's a confused look that tells you to rephrase something. But either way, you're learning from every interaction.
And that's where vocabulary really starts to come alive, right? I mean, you can memorize lists of words all day long, but when you actually use them in a conversation, when you see how they connect to real life situations, they just stick so much better.
Absolutely. The context, the emotional connection, it all adds layers of meaning that just, rote memorization can't replicate.
Totally. Like I remember when I was first learning Spanish and I finally had the courage to order food in a restaurant in Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
And the waiter understood me and I got what I wanted. It was like a huge victory.
It is those small victories that really build your confidence, right? And the more you speak, the less scary it becomes. That fear of making mistakes starts to fade away.
Yeah, you realize that like everyone makes mistakes and it's not the end of the world. In fact, it's often how you learn the most. So how can our listeners start incorporating more real-life conversations into their, English learning journey?
Well, if you know anyone who speaks English, even just a little bit, start there, strike up a conversation, ask them questions, even just simple things like how their day is going.
Yeah, keep it low pressure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to let them know that you're learning English and that you'd appreciate the practice. Most people are happy to help.
Yeah, and there are so many great online platforms now that are designed specifically for language exchange, like HelloTalk, Tandem, Speaky.
Yeah, those are fantastic resources. You connect with native English speakers who are learning your language, and you can kind of help each other out. It's mutually beneficial.
It's like a language buddy system.
Exactly.
And here's a kind of unusual tip, but I've heard it's really helpful. Talk to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally have conversations with yourself in English. Describe what you're doing, what you're thinking, even imagine different scenarios and play out the conversations in your head.
That's actually a really smart strategy. It might feel a little silly at first, but it's a no-pressure environment to practice forming sentences and getting comfortable with the sounds of the language. You're your own best critic, but you're also your most forgiving audience.
Exactly. And for those who might be a bit hesitant to dive into full-blown conversations right away, even small steps like ordering your coffee in English or asking for directions can make a big difference.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
all about building that confidence one interaction at a time.
So, your first mini challenge for today. Try to have at least one short interaction in English. It could be with a stranger, a friend, a coworker, or even just a chatty version of yourself in the mirror.
No judgment here.
Exactly. All right, now let's move on to something a little more, well, visually stimulating. Movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
How can binge watching actually help you learn English?
Well, first of all, it's engaging. You're following a storyline, you're invested in the characters, your brain is much more receptive to learning when you're entertained. It's like sneaky learning.
Yeah, it's passive learning disguised as fun.
Exactly. And while you're absorbed in the plot, you're also getting a fantastic earful of natural English. You're hearing the rhythm, the intonation, the everyday vocabulary that native speakers use.
Yeah, and unlike with a textbook, you're seeing the language in action, right? You see the facial expressions, the body language, the gestures. It all adds another layer of understanding to the words.
Absolutely. It's contextualized learning at its best. And you have the added benefit of control. You can pause, rewind, listen to a phrase again if you didn't quite catch it.
And then there are subtitles, right? How can those be used effectively?
Subtitles are a powerful tool, but it really depends on your level. If you're just starting out, having subtitles in your native language can help you follow the story without feeling overwhelmed. But as you progress, try switching to English subtitles. This helps you connect the spoken words with their written form, and it reinforces vocabulary and spelling.
So it's like a visual aid to help you connect the dots.
Exactly. And eventually the goal is to be able to watch without subtitles altogether, but that's, a long-term goal. Don't feel pressured to ditch them too soon.
Yes, small steps.
Mm.
Some people find it helpful to actually repeat lines from movies or TV shows. Does that actually work?
Absolutely. Mimicry is a fantastic way to learn. So if you hear a phrase you like or one that sounds particularly natural, pause the show, try to say it out loud, mimic the pronunciation, the intonation. It really helps you internalize the sounds of the language.
So it's like you're trying to embody the character a little bit.
Exactly. Channel your inner actor.
What kind of shows or movies are good starting points? I mean, should you just jump into like super complex dramas or documentaries?
Probably not. Start with something a little more accessible. Sitcoms, for example, often use more everyday language and deal with relatable situations like Friends, The Big Bang Theory. Those are good ones.
Oh, those are classics.
Exactly. And animated movies are great too, like Finding Nemo, Toy Story. They tend to use clearer, simpler vocabulary, and let's be honest, they're just fun to watch.
Yeah, and the key is to find something that you genuinely enjoy.
Right.
Because then it doesn't feel like work. It feels like you're just relaxing and having fun.
Exactly. The more you enjoy it, the more likely you are to stick with it.
Makes sense. So your next mini challenge, watch at least 10 minutes of an English TV show or movie today. Pay attention to any new words or phrases that pop up, and maybe even try saying a line or two out loud. Get into character.
Have some fun with it.
All right, let's shift gears again and talk about something that a lot of people find really enjoyable and convenient. Podcasts and audiobooks. What's so great about learning English just by listening?
Well, podcasts and audiobooks, they offer this incredible flexibility. You can literally learn English on the go, during your commute, while you're exercising, doing chores around the house.
Yeah, it's like multitasking for language learning.
Exactly. You don't have to carve out specific study time. You just pop in your headphones and let your ears do the work.
And there's just so much content out there, right? I mean, you can find podcasts on pretty much any topic imaginable, from true crime to history to pop culture. And audiobooks, you can listen to anything from like classic literature to the latest bestsellers.
Absolutely. And the beauty of it is, while you're listening, you're getting exposed to different accents, different speaking styles, different paces of speech. It really helps to train your ear to the nuances of spoken English.
Yeah, it's like a workout for your listening comprehension.
Precisely. And don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. It's totally normal. Just try to focus on getting the main idea, and with consistent listening, you'll find that your comprehension improves naturally over time. It's like any skill, the more you practice, the better you get.
And hey, if you're listening to this deep dive right now, you're already engaging in this method.
That's right. You're already on your way.
So your challenge for podcasts and audiobooks is pretty simple. Find something in English that sounds interesting to you and listen for at least 5 minutes today.
Even a little bit goes a long way.
All right, so we've talked about real conversations, movies, TV shows, podcasts, audiobooks. Now let's get to something that most of us probably spend way too much time on anyway. Social media and online content. How can scrolling through your phone actually help you learn English?
Well, social media gets a bad rap for being, a distraction, a time suck, but it can actually be an incredibly powerful tool for language learning if you use it strategically. Think about the sheer amount of English content that's available on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter.
Yeah, it's a never-ending stream of English in action.
Exactly. And the content is often short, it's engaging, it's very much focused on current, everyday language. So you're getting a taste of how people actually communicate in real time.
Yeah, and you can follow English learning accounts that share, like, quick grammar tips, vocabulary flashcards, pronunciation videos. It's all very digestible, very accessible.
Absolutely. And then there's YouTube. Oh my gosh, the treasure trove of English learning content on YouTube is just, it's phenomenal.
You can find anything from, like, full-blown English lessons to vlogs about people's daily lives to documentaries about literally any topic you can imagine.
Exactly. And don't just stick to the educational content. Watch videos made by native speakers for native speakers,
Right.
vlogs, interviews, comedy sketches, whatever interests you. You'll pick up so much authentic language just by observing how people naturally communicate.
Yeah, and you can also follow English-speaking influencers, bloggers, comedians, people who are using the language in creative and engaging ways.
Hmm.
It's a great way to pick up slang, to learn idioms, to get a feel for the cultural nuances of the language.
Absolutely. And social media also offers a great opportunity for interaction. You can leave comments on posts, reply to stories, participate in discussions. Even just writing a short comment in English is valuable practice.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to start small.
Yeah.
Maybe just use emojis and a few simple words at first. As you get more comfortable, you can start writing more complex sentences. And there are tons of online communities and forums specifically dedicated to language learning where you can practice writing and ask questions in a supportive environment.
Exactly. And here's a little hack. Change the language settings on your phone and your social media apps to English. It might feel a little weird at first, but it forces you to interact with the language constantly.
Yeah, it's like immersion by default.
Exactly. And remember, social media isn't just about consuming content, it's also about creating it. So try creating some of your own content in English, even if it's just a short post or a story update.
Yeah, it could be a tweet about your day,
Mm.
a caption for a photo on Instagram, anything that gets you thinking and writing in English.
Exactly. So, your social media challenge for today: find one new English learning account to follow and leave a comment in English on one of their posts. Even a simple "great" post or "thanks for sharing" is a step in the right direction.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here. Real conversations, movies and TV shows, podcasts and audiobooks, social media. Now let's talk about how to take all of this beyond specific activities and really weave English into the fabric of your everyday life. How can you make it a more constant presence?
It's all about making English a habit, a part of your daily routine without having to set aside dedicated study time. It's about integrating it into the things you already do.
So it's like making English a natural part of your life, not just something you do in isolated chunks.
Exactly. One really simple technique is to try thinking in English. As you're going about your day, narrate your actions to yourself in English. I'm getting dressed, I'm making breakfast, I'm walking the dog.
It sounds so basic, but I bet it really makes a difference.
It does. It helps to create that mental connection to the language.
Yeah.
And you can take it a step further by actually speaking to yourself in English. I know, it might feel a little silly, but it's incredibly helpful for building fluency and confidence.
Yeah, just describe what you're doing, what you're seeing, what you're planning to do. No one's listening, so you can make all the mistakes you want.
Exactly. And another great way to practice your writing and get your thoughts flowing in English is to keep a daily journal. It doesn't have to be long or elaborate, just a few sentences about your day, your thoughts, your feelings.
Yeah, it's a way to process your experiences through the lens of English.
Precisely. And if you're more of a visual learner, try labeling objects around your home with English sticky notes. Seeing the English word for door, window, table, chair, everyday objects, it just provides constant reinforcement.
It's like turning your house into a giant English vocabulary flashcard.
Exactly. And for a bit of fun, you can also switch the language on your video games to English.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It can be a really engaging way to learn new vocabulary in a context that you already understand. And then, of course, there's music. Listening to English songs, trying to understand the lyrics, singing along. It's all fantastic for pronunciation, for rhythm, for just getting a feel for the flow of the language.
And when you're out and about, try to notice English around you. Read menus, read signs, read labels in the grocery store. It's all about exposing yourself to the language in as many ways as possible.
Absolutely. So, for your daily life challenge, pick one regular activity and try to do it while consciously engaging with English, whether it's thinking in English, speaking to yourself, or reading something.
Make it a little mini immersion experience. All right, let's wrap up by talking about two things that are absolutely essential for success with any of these methods: consistency and fun.
Couldn't agree more. You can have all the best strategies in the world, but if you're not consistent and if you're not enjoying the process, it's not going to work.
It's like anything else in life, right? You
Yeah.
have to put in the effort, but it also has to be something that you at least somewhat enjoy. Otherwise, you're just not going to stick with it.
Exactly. And remember, making mistakes is a natural part of learning any language. Don't let the fear of making mistakes hold you back.
Yeah, embrace the mistakes.
They're actually valuable learning opportunities. Every fluent English speaker has made countless mistakes along the way. It's part of the journey.
And consistency is key. Even just 15 minutes a day of focused English engagement is far more effective than trying to cram in like hours of study once a week.
Little and often is the way to go.
It's like building a muscle.
Yeah.
You have to work it regularly to see results. And it can be helpful to track your progress, to see how far you've come.
Absolutely. Keep a journal, record yourself speaking English periodically, set small goals, anything that helps you stay motivated, and see that you're actually making progress.
Yeah, and most importantly, make it fun. If you're not enjoying it, you're not going to stick with it.
Find content that excites you, activities that engage you, make it feel less like a chore and more like something you genuinely want to do.
So our final challenge for today is this. Think of one small English habit, something you can realistically do every single day, and commit to doing it for the next 7 days.
It could be listening to a 5-minute podcast clip, practicing one new English phrase out loud, writing one sentence in your journal, anything that gets you actively engaging with the language.
Start small, stay consistent, and have fun.
All right, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of learning English without textbooks. Remember, start integrating English into your life right now. Immerse yourself in it daily through various enjoyable methods. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. And most importantly, make the learning process fun.
If you enjoyed this deep dive and found these alternative learning strategies helpful, please subscribe to the deep dive so you don't miss out on future episodes.
And if you know someone who's trying to learn English, share this episode with them. It might just open up a whole new world of possibilities.
We'd love to hear about your experiences as well. So if you have any questions or if you want to share your own tips for learning English without textbooks, please leave a comment or connect with us on social media.
Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, a world of language learning is open to you, textbook or no textbook.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive into the world of effective learning.
Until then, happy learning.